Lydia, your lifelong dream is to be an ant, to see mountains in all 4 seasons, and to go to the moon. Those all seem to fit together.
Yeah, right?
Right? And I'm sure a part of that dream would be to recite perfectly on this next passage. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Lydia, please recite John 20, verses 24 through 31.
John 20, 24 through 31. Now Thomas, one of the 12, called the twin, was not with them when Jesus came. So the other disciples told him, "We have seen the Lord." But he said to them, "Unless I see in his hands the mark of the nails, and place my finger into the mark of the nails, and place my hand into his side, I will never believe." 8 days later, his disciples were inside again, and Thomas was with them. Although the doors were locked, Jesus came and stood among them and said, "Peace be with you." Then he said to Thomas, "Put your finger here and see my hands, and put out your hand and place it in my side. Do not disbelieve, but believe." Thomas answered him, "My Lord and my God." Jesus said to him, "Have you believed because you have seen me? Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed." Now Jesus did many other signs in the presence of the disciples, which are not written in this book. But these are written so that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that by believing you may have life in his name. John 20, 24 through 31.
Lydia, I love that. My favorite part was when you said, "We have seen the Lord." That was awesome.
They had to be excited.
Right, that should be our attitude, right? We can't say that casually. But you know, Lydia, I think oftentimes when we read that passage or we hear it read, we focus on doubting Thomas. But you know what hit me when you recited that? It was long-suffering Jesus, right? I mean, he had been with Thomas and with the apostles. They had seen him do the miracles. He had taught them that he was going to die and rise again. And yet still, he wasn't getting it. And yet he appeared to him and he addressed his doubts in love and compassion.
Yeah.
You know, what's poked out at me with that is there in that passage it said, although the doors were locked, the doors were locked, Jesus wasn't there. And the next thing you know, the presence of God was there. Right. Jesus showed up.
He has to be God.
Right? But here's the thing, you know, for maybe even many of those in the audience, there may be a situation that you're in and the doors are locked. And maybe you don't experience God's presence right there. And one of the reasons why you're not experiencing God's presence right there is you've locked the doors through your lack of faith. And God is saying the same thing to you that he would say to Thomas. Don't doubt. It doesn't matter if the doors are locked and it seems like it's 100% impossible that God would show up in this situation, but he can and he will, but it's in the same proportion as our faith. That is good news.
Amen.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's amazing. I think Jesus is wonderful.
And Lydia, in the same spirit that you said, "We have seen the Lord," I say to you, you have 1,000 points.
Oh, yeah. Well played, Lydia. Good job.